It is not looking great for MoP. I gotta say, I heard people talking about this and I was kind of in that boat of, yes, okay, it takes longer to level up in MoP than it did in Cataclysm, so obviously that means that people are still leveling, and that's why MoP was doing so poorly on its first week. Well, even Wowhead is having a hard time, and look at the title. Are there too many versions of Classic WoW? Classic Week 2 raiding numbers lowest since the Burning Crusade. Now, let's be real here, leveling in TBC took a while, and a lot of people took a while to hit 70. Also, if I recall correctly, correct me if I'm wrong here, but TBC came out in the holidays, so people were busy with the holidays, you know, the family and stuff, so I bet that also played a role in it. But check this out, 2 weeks into the release of Mogush and Bolts in Mist of Pandaria Classic, players are noticing that raiding numbers are not nearly as high as they were during other times in Classic's history. Notably, both Cataclysm and Wrath of the Lich King Classic had much higher raiding numbers at this time in the expansion's release, once again the second lockout. It is no wonder that the player base is split with the release of Anquirage in Anniversary Realms. This is actually a huge point of contention I have with Blizzard. I could not believe they would be this stupid, but they released AQ40 pretty much on top of MoP. And I was playing Anniversary, and this almost single-handedly was the straw that broke the camel's back for me, was the thing that made me quit Anniversary. I am not missing out on MoP just so I can go farm Cenarion Reputation all day in AQ40 for gear I don't even need, right? Don't get me wrong, I would have been happy raid logging BWL, just farming BWL and doing MoP at the same time. That was sustainable, but the amount of time it would have taken me to play and raid in MoP and to play and raid AQ40 with all the money and time investment it takes, right? Because you gotta farm the gold, right? It was simply not something I could do. I got a lot of time to play the game, right? Do I want to spend it farming a Cenarion rep? Probably not, but even then, I don't think I have the time to play AQ40 and MoP in any sort of serious capacity at the same time. I don't think pretty much anybody can. Now, they are talking about the hype that was the original Classic. Obviously, everybody was funneled into a single version of WoW. Then Burning Crusade came out, and Season of Mastery failed, not in short reason because TBC was coming out at the same time and all that stuff. Wrath of the Lich King was the peak of Classic, you guys know that. If you look at the chart, it's that tower right here, that's Wrath of the Lich King. I do not like Wrath of the Lich King, mind you, this is not my bias talking. I never was a big fan of Wrath of the Lich King. If anything, I think Cataclysm is better, and that's crazy, I know. But the truth of the matter is, whether I agree or not, a lot of people really like Wrath of the Lich King. I mean, there is a reason that there is people in Warmane farming the stupid ICC thing like every week for the last 5 years. People like Wrath of the Lich King, as simple as that. Look at this. There are only so many hours in a week, and this overlap forced a lot of players to prioritize one version over another. That's spot on. That's literally what's happening. Cataclysm Classic was one of the lowest points for active player count in Classic, especially towards the end of the expansion. Mist of Pandaria had significantly boosted the player count since then. I mean, yeah, because you're starting from here, right? Like, anything that isn't this is gonna be better, right? That's like, you know, like, oh, people after the Great Depression were richer than their parents. Yeah, the parents grew up in the Great Depression. Genius, no wonder they are richer. They were not starving. You've seen those talking points out there. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, like, that's pretty much what they are saying here. Like, of course we are doing better than Cataclysm at the end. Yeah, like, no wonder. We got a detective working for Wowhead, oh my god. At its peak, World of Warcraft had 600,000 active raiders during Phase 1 of Wrath of the Lich King Classic. And also, keep in mind, if I recall correctly, this is TOGC and this other spike in here is ICC. And this is Ulduar. People hated Ulduar. I am not surprised. I hate Ulduar. Hot take. Crucify me if you must. If you must do it. I don't like Ulduar. I know. I hate it. Stupid vehicle combat. But Trial of the Grand Crusader and ICC actually did very well. They were holding like what? 410,000 players. That is impressive, man. Like, compare that to like Vanilla. Like, the peak of Vanilla was 500k. So Wrath of the Lich King held a lot of people for a long time. Even if I don't like it, this is insane. This is a sign of great health for the game. It was probably the peak of players in Classic WoW, and it will probably not happen again. That kinda sucks, that kinda stinks, doesn't it? Anyway, today we got new information, the next lockout, and people were saying, okay, Medina, it took too long to level up in MoP, and that's the reason that people could not raid, and people are gonna hit 90, don't you worry about it, Medina, people are gonna hit 90, and everything is gonna be a-okay. I actually got a great proxy for measuring interest in the expansion because I got a bunch of class guides, and like that is like steady traffic that keeps going for the entire time, and traffic on those guides collapsed. Not on one guide, but pretty much overall the traffic on those videos collapsed. That did not happen for SOD, that did not happen for Cataclysm. It kept going for a long time, right? It lasted for like a year, of course. It kept going down over time, of course, obviously, but it was pretty steady. The traffic I was getting on those guides a week into MoP compared to today, it's about a third. That's my personal story, of course, my anecdotal evidence. But if you look at the Raider lockouts, and this is also, keep in mind, it counts arenas now. Ever since Cataclysm, I think, arenas are also counted into population. See, raids plus arena. Arena logs are very easy to pull, you know, the ranking, so like they can scrape that information very easily. And even then, the second lockout of Pandaria, it clocked 180,000 people. For a comparison, the second lockout of Cataclysm, not a great expansion, just Cataclysm, was 300,000 almost. Also, if you look at the first week, it was 210,000. The second week was 300,000. We go here and we take 298,000. We divide it by 209,000. And that's a 42% increase from week 1 to week 2 of Cataclysm. Now, if we do the same math in Pandaria, you can see the gap is almost non-existent. We go from 157,000 to 180,000. 180 divided by 157. That is a 14% increase from week 1 to week 2. That is so awful. I don't know if there is a comparison point here. Like the first week of Classic it was 42k and the second week was 59k. And remember, like leveling to 60 took an eternity, right? So like it kept going up across the entire expansion. The first lockout in TBC it was 70,000 and the second lockout was 157,000. So it more than doubled. In Rato de Lich King it went from like 409,000 to 540. I don't know the math in my head, but it's like well over 20%. And it started at a much higher number, so keep that in mind. Leveling in Northrend, it barely took an afternoon, right? Like if you wanted to raid in Rato de Lich King and you had an afternoon, you could do it, absolutely. And Nax was super easy and accessible, so yeah, maybe Rato de Lich King is not a great comparison, I understand that, but even then, this indicates one thing. It is not that people did not raid because it took them too long to level and they were still leveling, because those people after 2 weeks, actually 2 weeks of release and 1 week of the lockout, those people would already be playing by now, right? Like if you really actually cared about playing MoP and you didn't have a lot of time, you probably are 90 for a while now. You are probably ready to go. Also, we are gonna get Celestials and that should make raids a lot easier, but here's my problem with Celestials. I think they made them too good. They have no lockout. Yes, you have the lockout of you cannot run the same dungeon in a day, but you can run like 20 of them and then you can go and get all the shards and whatnot that you will get, and you can get pretty much the MSB drop, the Moguls and Bolts drop that you want, and you can just, yeah, oh sure, it is 476. It is still better than anything you can get pretty much, except some of the daily gear, but Celestials are so efficient and so quick to get up a character that, in my opinion, Moguls and Bolts normally is completely obsolete. I don't see any reason why people would raid normal. We're gonna keep raiding because we're gonna do Shout of Fear. We got a raid tomorrow, by the way. Check this out. I made a Glissy cam, okay? Every time I get 5 subs, I gotta throw a Glissy mid-raid. That's gonna be funny if you're tuning in tonight, but I just wanna keep the raid going for Shout of Fear, Heart of Fear, sorry, because that's gonna be the tier pieces and that's what people are gonna care about, and hopefully people are gonna care to show up. Let me tell you something. It took me about, I would say, 40 minutes. Because I had 4 different healers that didn't show up to my GDKP, it took me 40 minutes to get 2 healers. 40 minutes at night, at prime time. If I am having such a hard time filling up a raid today, what is gonna happen in 2 or 3 weeks? And I don't want to be here and sitting and pointing at one thing, oh, it is Celestial Dungeons, oh, it is actually, I don't know, like the raids or like the gear or whatever, or the leveling that often gets blamed. I think the leveling plays a big role in the sense that it takes you so freaking long to hit 90 that people are not playing alts, and that's tanking the population. But alts are super important. People do not value alts as much as they should, okay? If WoW is alt friendly and alts are easy to get going, it is actually really good for the casual players as well. Why? If you're a casual player, you probably only raid on one character. Yes, but at the same time, there is an entire pool of really good players that are willing to go to a weaker raid, maybe a normal raid like mine, and they may not have the best gear, but they know how to play, they did all the fights, and those people, the alts of the tryhard players, are the people that keep the casual raiding scene alive. So when you kill alts, you are essentially killing casual play, and that is something that we can never get through Blizzard's heads. Blizzard is obsessed with quote-unquote inflating player playtime, and it kills the game. Okay, for every minute of playtime you get from like a sweat lord that poops on a bottle or whatever, you are losing like 1 or 2 casual people that could go to MSB and play normal and have a decent time, and those people are gone. And no, I don't have any shame in saying I play normal. I like playing with my chat. We're not gonna do heroic Feng with my chat, okay? You guys know who you are, man. I love you, but you know. So overall, even though it pains me to say this because I thought Mogushan Bolts was an amazing raid and now it's gonna be wasted, my days in Pandaria are not long for this world. I gotta be honest with you guys, like what am I gonna do? Sit for 4 hours until I can fill up a single raid? I am not going back to 10-man. 10-man raiding sucks. And at the end of the day, I think the thing that pisses people off, and we're probably gonna see that very soon, now that the honeymoon is over and people get the reality hitting them, this hamster wheel model of retail expansions doesn't work. All the people that spent day and night farming the stupid dailies to get 486 gear, they are getting beat by some idiot that got like the Celestial Dungeons in 2 days. And granted, yeah, sure, like the daily gear is 486 and the Celestial is 476 or whatever, I don't know the number, it's like 10 less item levels. You spent like 2 weeks playing the game all day and they got the entire thing in 2 days. That's gotta feel like a box of bricks falling into your head. That's gotta be awful. We go there, we raid Mogushan Bolts normal, we get our 486 gear as well, right? We get like some really decent pieces, we are happy about it. A guy had got Star Shatter, the sword, you know, the famous sword from Mogushan. He was like screaming, he was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And now everybody gets a free Star Shatters from Celestials. It's not even that you gotta get lucky and get it, you can just farm 4 dungeons and you get enough tokens to buy it, which is insane. A game like World of Warcraft relies on an illusion. It has to make an illusion that when you play this game, you are not wasting your life. And this new retail gear progression system destroys the illusion for me. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Of course, we got TBC and I love TBC. TBC is my baby, so we got that going on. I am not too hopeless on this entire thing, but we got like 3 months for that. So what the hell are we gonna do, chat? If you check out the Discord, we got WeCoras and macros for every single spec in the game. We're working on it, making a big database. I will get to making that Blood DK video when I can get to it, I promise. And we are also gonna be live on Twitch tonight doing the Glissy race with the GDKP from the chat, and it's gonna be a disaster, and I'm gonna be throating Glissy's mid-boss, so God knows what's gonna happen. I gotta work on that. I gotta boil some Glissys today. And subscribe, join the Discord, and thank you for watching.